Hi, everybody. Today we are receiving Mr. Richard Boudreault, President of Orbite Aluminae. And he has a lot to say. I'm not the one that's going to talk the most in this interview because we did the interview in French before, and he said so much that I'm happy I'm going to listen to it for the second time. And the first question I'm going to ask him is about that little boat that came in Montreal port last week, and actually one of the biggest yachts in the world. And I'd like to know a little bit about that. Mr. Boudreault, good day.
Good afternoon, Monsieur Carignan.
So we heard that that boat was owned by the co-owner of Rusal, ex-co-owner of Rusal in Russia.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm told. I'm also told it's the biggest in the world. Yeah.
It's the biggest in the world. So you met with them, and they were at your place last week.
I have nothing to say.
You have nothing to say. Okay, so you can say
but
that.
It's a beautiful boat.
It's a beautiful boat, and it's a very. I find it a very big coincidence, as they don't come here very often. They might have gone to the Casino of Montreal. Maybe that's what they were.
Possibly, maybe to our AGM. You never know.
Oh yeah. So,
but certainly, we had a very long visit of the Russians last week at our facility in Montreal.
Yeah.
Very long negotiation, extremely interesting negotiations.
For sure. And there are new developments in your company. You had your shareholder meeting last week, and you've been bombarded by questions out there, so we can't surprise you with the question today. But I'd rather
although
let you
the boat was a bit of a surprise.
But you know. So anyway, we're gonna pass on it, and let's talk about the new development in the company. I heard you're having a new partner as well.
Yes, we have signed an agreement with Nalco, which is the number 3 in the world aluminum producer. As you can understand, we tend to find our agreement in size of companies. The first size of the company in the world is Rusal, so we've signed an agreement with them. Third is Nalco, which is the most important in Asia. We're going over Chinalco, obviously. And then we will be talking to all the other foreign producer of aluminum in the world in the future. Some of them we're already talking with.
When you get a deal with the biggest, and it makes it easier to get...
It's much easier to go from the top to the bottom than the bottom to the top.
Exactly. Yes, I believe. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when you start by the bottom, you stay at the bottom.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we have this new relationship with Nalco, which is similar to the relationship we have with Rusal. We're also talking to other groups who want to have a relationship with us. That's going to continue. But the interesting thing about the Nalco agreement is that they have an interest, yes, in us treating their material, the bauxite, in India, but they also have an interest in coming with us to work on our aluminous clay in Canada in our JV. But the added kicker to the story is certainly the red mud. This is an example of red mud. The red mud is produced by all the Bayer producers in the world. All the Bayer producers essentially are foreign companies. They produce this material when they produce alumina from bauxite. This is an extremely negative material in the environment. It's very polluting and is probably worse than the famous lakes of water from the petroleum in Alberta, for example, where the bird kills themselves.
Tell me if I'm correct. The only place in the world where we can find bauxite is in the equator.
Is around the equator, yes.
Around the equator. And every company that produces aluminum gets their product from the bauxite with the Bayer
process that produce this.
And they all produce this.
They all produce, all the people that use the Bayer process, that is except the Russian, because they have another process, but all the North American and other people, they produce this red mud, which is the epitome of pollution. And we have developed a process that takes this red mud, extract all the material they've not been able to extract from the Bayer process because the process was developed in the 1800s, and we extract the material and essentially provide the whole gamut of the whole distribution of products that would come from the treatment of clay. So from this you get alumina, you get a highly pure hematite, you get silicon, and at the end, you get a very nice sand instead of this mud, a very nice sand which is made of titanium and silicon.
So first, the Bayer process takes
Very
the
inert
bauxite and only takes half of the alumina that they could get out of it.
Yes, that's a good estimate.
And there's still another half in this red mud, combined with titanium, sand, and
rare earths.
And rare earth.
Rare earths. You got all sorts of rare earths.
So
you got
everything is still in
gallium,
there.
you
So
got
it's
neodymium and everything.
It's still a valued product that no one ever knew what to do with it.
This has a lot of good product instead of polluting Mother Nature. And by removing them, we can extract a lot of value. And it pays for itself in a few years. This is not a process where you remediate polluted grounds. Yes, you remediate the grounds, but you extract a lot of value. So we believe this is going to be a very nice entry in the Bayer sector. As we get this technology and the governments push the technology and the industry push the technology to transform their material, they will adopt our technology for this material, and then they're going to find out how useful it is to treat the bauxite as well. So they're going to say, well, might as well put or extend your plant to treat our bauxite. And so we expect that this 3 billion tons of material will be a very nice place for us to enter the market. This is a revolution in the world. There's no such thing. There's no similar thing at all on the planet that exists. And it produces the red, it produces the red mud. It removes the red mud, but it produces the rare earths as well, the heavy rare earths and the light rare earths. And
so what
the other
was
news
considered as a waste could now be considered as a product.
It is an ore. It is an ore. It's just like the other ores. Matter of fact, in certain circumstances, it has even a higher content of alumina than in the poor producing facility.
And it's right there. You don't have to dig for it.
You don't have to dig for it. The ponds are there, and when they're not empty. The ponds they empty by themselves in the Saguenay or some other river around the world. Once in a while, they have to construct all sorts of system to retain the mud and let it dry. We can take this mud and process it. That's what NALCO is strongly interested in, and I think we have other partners, which at this point I cannot mention, have demonstrated strong interest in that. But we have a JV, we have an MOU with NALCO, which does deal with treating red mud. As you know, in Asia, and especially in India, they've had a lot of accidental dispersal of this material in nature, and the government is certainly up in arms, and this is very critical for them.
So let's talk now about the rare earth, because the rare earth comes over and above the alumina that you can get from the clay that you are processing. So you made up your first samples of rare earth metals that you have here in
we've made very large samples, but those are heavy buggers, so we don't try. So we have 200 grams of each, and normally they come in different dispersion in the world. So if you have 200 grams of each, it's because you have at least 200 grams, and the one that is the highest content, you'll have kilograms and tons.
How much have you produced so far in the sample?
We've produced quite a bit, well beyond the kilograms and into close to a very large portion, let's say. I don't want to reveal that source at this point.
Okay.
And those are the heavy rare earths. This is the erbium oxide. Erbium oxide is used in LED lights. It's used in all sorts of things. The screens that you have on your Apple, for example, are made of erbium. Scandium is the rarest of them all. There's the fairest of them all, but this is the rarest of them all, the scandium. That bottle of scandium is worth about $2,000, a bit more than $2,000 on the open market.
In 1 ton of clay, how much weight we have in alumina? And how much we have in rare earth?
25% of alumina, approximately. Okay. And in rare earths,
1/4.
0.05%.
0.05, which is a lot.
Yeah.
0.05.
0.05%. So it represents.
What is 0.05 of 2,000 pounds?
Well, that would be about 10 pounds.
10 pounds. Okay, so 10 pounds. And there, when you're talking about pound, you're talking about big money. Give me an example of what of those things. What
this material costs in China, in domestic price in China, this is a $4,500 a kilogram in China domestic price. So you can't buy it in North America for that price. In North America, you'll pay $10,000 a kilogram.
A kilogram.
Around.
So, okay.
But we produce so little in the world that it's very hard to stabilize a price correctly. This is the fairest of them all, the most expensive material. Now we're we're the first in North America to have produced heavy rare earths. Most other people are still in the exploration phase in this sector. We finished the exploration, we have the money to go forward, we have produced the concentrate, and we have separated the material. So we're about 5 steps in front of everybody else in the market in North America, and certainly in front of certain like Molycorp and Linus. We're there, we're producing the heavy rare earths that are worthwhile and which China has got
so you
supply
are more
of a few years ago.
The technology, but you also have patented technology.
Absolutely.
So those that are on your track cannot do it the same way as you did it. They must find another way to do it.
Well, and it's going to be difficult because it took quite a bit of time to find this. And the fact is that we developed those patents a while ago. They're unique patents in the sense that they're fundamental patents. Fundamental patents are the first patents that you build something about. And those fundamental patents are very hard to go around. You're essentially saying the basic truth. I'm extracting this material with hydrochloric acid and stuff like that. So it's very hard to get this thing.
Are your patents worldwide?
They're worldwide. Most of the patents are PCT. They're worldwide. Some are in the phase which they've been agreed, and they're in each of the countries, and they've been agreed and patent. And the patent pending are worldwide. And we have 10 families of patents. The 3 first families are awarded. The rest are patent pending. We're going to use as much of the time as possible in order to increase the longevity of the patents. One patent is 20 years long, but when you have 20 patents overlaid over each other, you can have 25, 26, 27 years.
And to produce it, you have to have the whole
yes,
process.
You need a good part of the process. Not every one of the 10, but you need about 7 or 6 of the 10. Different types of product will have different types of material.
So, so what is the deal that you made with this new company, Nalco?
Well, the deal is essentially the same one that we have with Rusal, which have come to see us last week.
They agreed to put some money to be partner.
They have agreed. They have agreed to do the testing. They have a strong interest in this. They would like to go further with this and make sure that this material would be extracted. They're going to be testing their bauxite. They have 2 different types of bauxite, which has a high silicon. They expect it may be difficult. We expect it's not going to be difficult. We're going to be testing the material. And as a result of that, they will have an opportunity to be part of the JV and in the Gaspé area. And they will also have a possibility of getting a patent for this type of technology and a patent for the extraction of alumina and all these byproducts. So the interesting thing about our technology is that not only are we the low-cost producer of alumina in the world, we're in the 5th percentile, the lowest price, but we're absolutely the low cost or very close to 0 cost producer of heavy rare earths that are worth enormous amount of money. This is a pollution to the alumina, so we are extracting the pollution, but this pollution was worth a lot of money.
So where are you at now with the mill, the process plant?
I'm hoping that some images are behind us or behind me. We are building the first plant, which is the high purity alumina. The high purity alumina is just as the rare earth, is mostly monopolized in China. The fabrication of high purity alumina. It goes into making LED light bulbs. It goes into making screens for your computers. And that is very much monopolized in China, the small producer somewhere else. But we will be one of the first one outside of China. And certainly the high purity alumina could go like China again. They might, like the rare earths, they might decide to strangle a little bit the market, and we'll see what happens. But high purity facility, we're ending the fabrication of that. And that's based on our lab or pilot facility. We're going to go to a full-scale facility, all operational in December of this year. January of next year, we're starting the commissioning and the phasing in of the product. We expect to extract out of this first unit about $100 million of top line and very close to that in bottom line, because we're extremely low cost producer as well in the high purity sector. So we've garnished the market as being the low cost producer in aluminum, high purity aluminum, and the rare earths. And now we have this product, which is based on a technology base, the product which is transformates 3 billion tons of red mud in the world, which is a high pollutant. Birds get killed in that material. This is something for Greenpeace type of thing. But we're transforming this crap, because that's what it is, and it does smell like, and into a series of products, including these rare earths. So, you know, it's like turning the excrement of the Bayer process into some fine products, because that Bayer process is not efficient. I mean, the technology was built 120 years ago. How efficient can it be?
So I find it amazing with everything you said since we met the few times you came to visit us, and with everything I heard about the company. I find it very funny to see the stock not picking up. I mean, it's $2 right now. It was $2.25 at the beginning of the week. The market is going bad, so everything goes down. So it's not because of you; it's the market. But usually, company like you, even though the market is bad, should surge, should go up. There are rumors that says that you don't have only friends, you have enemy, because you have competitors.
And we have competitors.
And the rumor says some entity are trying to cut your leg and stop you from growing too fast. What do you think?
I think that's a possibility. We are traded in Canada right now. Our goal is to be traded in the U.S., where the availability of these markets and the fact that we're North American producer is, and we have a new technology, is going to be well recognized. It's very hard in Canada to be recognized. We're recognized as a mining operation. We're competing with a lot of rare earth company. We're competing with the other producer of alumina in Canada, which is Alcan, which produce this fine material, as a matter of fact. We have essentially all these competitors that are not there necessarily for our good, but all of our goods. We are still going after to grow in this market. We have the money we need to go to the next step. We will go to the next step. We have the intellectual property. We have the competence to go forward. We've been surprising the world month after month with innovation. This is a worldwide innovation. This has not been done. We're 2 years ahead of any other technology in North America. But we also have in Canada a very, very arcane law, which allows people to short stocks. And that's essentially detrimental to all the young company. They're like hawks that bear on the young and new company that makes their life very difficult. That's why in the US they have a very strong venture capital industry that helps these firms and propels them to a place where they can be public. In Canada, we don't have that thing. We go public really rapidly because there's very little low infrastructure in venture cap that is available. So in order to grow rapidly, we're always stuck in Canada. We have to go to the bourse, to the stock trading, and you get hit by the shorters at that point.
So you started to be trading on another new exchange, electronic exchange.
We're going to be traded on an open platform, which is called the OTCQX, which is a trading platform just like NASDAQ, just like Amex, just like NYSE in the US. It allows us to go in with the Canadian law. At first, it doesn't require us to go to the full expenditure of applying and be compliant with the American laws. And so it's an easy entry. It will allow us to move to a next step, which is probably a technology based stock exchange, which would be a NASDAQ or an Amex or something like that eventually in a few years.
Anyway, for myself, I do maintain my buying recommendation on new lows of the company. I mean, on bottoms of the company, because it does rebounds every couple of weeks. So I think for me the project is great. I'm surprised to see the stock at this price, but with, I mean, the potential that your company has is unbelievable. So sooner or later, I think you're going to make it through. Just before we end, because we are over the time limit so far, let me ask you, how is your Russian right now?
Well, it's improving quite a bit.
Yeah,
Quite a bit.
It did improve over the last couple of weeks, hasn't it?
Over the last couple of weeks, I had a lot of experience with Russian and their traditions of drinking vodka.
Okay, and but what about the next language you're going to learn? Is that Chinese, Mandarin, Korean?
Well, my daughters are from China, so we always speak Mandarin. I think the next thing for us will probably be an American slang for a period of time.
Oh. Mr. Boudreault, thank you very much for visiting us again.
Bonjour.